Hey Crown Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters. Thank you for clicking on my video today to see what it is again I have to say. If you're new to my channel, welcome. This is the channel where publishing and marketing meet. We also have our separate podcast show you can find on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, most major platforms in 2022. The title of our podcast is what? Crown Content Publications. This is where we interview entrepreneurs, authors. Our mission as a whole is to keep the power of business networking alive even after the setbacks of a pandemic. You don't want to miss this. So far, we've interviewed on our show credit specialists, authors, wedding event planners, venue owners, okay? For you guys that might be looking for a local spot to host an event like a baby shower or bridal party, any type of event, really. She's helped this lady I'm talking about. Y'all got a reference to the show. You can find the podcast link in the comments or description section, always, okay? But in case you don't want to just go through the link, I'm telling y'all, the podcast show name is Crown Content Publications. We're publishing and marketing meet. We thank you guys for your support as we see our small following on YouTube is slowly beginning to grow as we expected would happen. Nothing happens overnight. Of course, here on our channel, we do not seek popularity anyway, but authenticity, because some of our inspirational or informational segments are not everybody's favorite, right? We like to discuss topics that we feel like should actually be discussed more in everyday life. This is why people become authors in the first place. They find a route, a venue, a way to release what they've already been thinking, what they've already been feeling on the inside. And that's exactly why I'm going to go ahead and take this time to also announce, if you're new to my channel, that Crown Content Publications works with content of all sorts. We help you with the services to bring that content alive and as professional looking as possible. We do offer publication services to people that are interested in becoming self-published authors or, looking for publication services, consultations, or help, assistance in the avenue or route that's going to be best for them, depending on the plans that they have for their book. You can contact me between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. at my business phone number that will be in the description section and comment section, or you can visit my website, www.contentcrownpublications.com, not only to find a list of particular services that we are offering in 2022. It's also going to have the link there where you can book your consultations, guys. Let me remind you that my link to the booking of consultation for business or publication services will also be listed in the description section. I'm very grateful for my small team of freelancers, content writers, content producers who have been helping me to keep this small business strong and alive. We thought we would bring our presence to YouTube this year so that more of you guys can know about us and that we exist, okay, for sure. I know some of you guys are wondering, like, why is it that she's an author, she's a podcaster, right? She's a social media influencer. Why does she bring certain discussion video topics to her YouTube channel? Let's talk about that. I preach a lot as a publication services coordinator and writing coach is that voice and tone is very important in life, okay? Not just when you're writing a book, but any author can tell you, elevating your skills to be able to recognize the difference from voice and tone and finding your own particular voice and tone in every novel is going to matter. But this also applies in business. The tone you use to a customer, the tone you use to your supervisor, the tone you use to your employee, okay, or the staff on your team, the voice you use to when you're pitching that business somewhere or to somebody. Voice and tone has always mattered, so why wouldn't it matter on my channel? I'm Publishing Services Coordinator Arthur Tedasheri. I am the founder of Crown Publishing Content. We have been here. We were originally envisioned in 2017, but I launched the business in 2019. So we haven't been around long, guys. And it's such a beautiful time to have started a business to me because, in the new age, content creation is such a big business. You know what I mean? Like, everybody's doing it, even if they don't recognize that they're doing it. Sharing a selfie itself on your social media platform is content at the same time, right? We just preach those other business tips that you might not know. Like, did you know you could copyright a selfie? You didn't know that. You can copyright anything that is considered intellectual work or property that you owned or that you help contribute to, okay? So I always know that. Of course, though, today the segment is not about publication services. We will be back on that here soon, guys, because I have more tips and advice for authors and writers and content creators coming up and going into the summer, okay? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel where you can always get updates and tips when it comes to business and publication services. Today's segment title, video discussion topic is queenship. You heard me right. Queenship. What is a queen? Where did the term queen come from? Why was the significance of a queen's position so important when kingdoms were more, I'm going to say, what's the word? Because, you know, kingdoms still exist, in case y'all didn't know out there. There are still kings in this world, and it's 2022. There are still queens in this world. And then when y'all hear queen, the first person y'all think about is, you know, Queen Elizabeth and the Dianas and the Prince Harrys. But there were kingdoms and dynasties in almost every country and land or territory in this world when we go back and look at history. So we're about to talk about that a little bit. And so what even made me think about a topic like this, being an author, being a millennial, you know what I'm saying, seeing what's going on in the world, seeing where everybody is when it comes to their perceptions and their opinions about life, right? And I know y'all think you can see it on me. Yeah, I'm excited to do my own version of a topic called Queenship and the history of queenship, because I'm a woman. That doesn't make me extra, sexist or feminist. I always love where I come from. I did not choose the sex I came out as, but I am adjusting and living with it just fine. But you know, we live in a time, y'all, where it's coming back again. Women, y'all know, there was a whole period in history where we literally had to fight for what they call women's rights, okay? And just because culture did something for so long, I preach this a lot on and off my segments, doesn't mean that something is wrong with you for wanting to break. They call them, you know, they might get the nickname rebel or, you know, chain breaker or generational curse breaker, right? Just for wanting to do something. I'm not even going to call it extraordinary. To me, it's just doing something outside of the norm of what your culture has always done. Teaching something different outside of what your culture has always taught. And anything I call myself teaching, I'm going to always bring those historical facts for you guys. Y'all excuse me right now that my videos are not edited yet. I don't bring like content, you know, pictures and things like this yet, videos for me to reference to. But what I will do is always share facts that you guys know you can always go back and Google later and reference check me anytime, guys. Like, criticism is very well needed in the new age. That's how you know if you're growing or not, or what you need to work on. And I'm definitely working on this part of my life as an author anyway. If you do want to go check out some of my early ebook publications, and I say early because I have been growing as a writer for the past 5 years for sure. And I ended up learning I was a poet. I ended up learning that I don't just want to write short story fiction and nonfiction novels. I would like to actually start targeting my work to real, real circumstances, real life things that we all experience in the world today, like domestic violence or drug addiction, topics and things like this. These are the type of books I would like to bring out. Homelessness and things like this. Things that people in the real world can, at a time or two in their life, either relate to or they're going through it right now. So boom. I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to society though, you have animals that are abused on a day-to-day basis. You have the elderly that is abused on a day-to-day basis. You have children that are abused on a day-to-day basis. And then last on my list, you have women that are abused on a day-to-day basis. So what's the common area interest between all of them? They are the the more vulnerable of the world, the ones that don't really have a voice, right? Like a child cannot really say that they're being abused unless they are taught what abuse is, unless they are taught what the signs of abuse, what good touch, bad touch is, bad words, good words is, good communication versus terrible communication, right? You better believe right here at home we're teaching the kids. You need to kind of know how to decipher this stuff, because even if I'm not around, there should be an adult, or when you get to a safe place where you can talk to somebody, I want my kids to be able to communicate, like, hey, something went wrong, or something didn't feel right, or something was said to me that was a little off. With animals, they can't talk at all, right? Y'all know how we're able to tell that animals are abused simply by the scars. You can just look at an animal and tell that whether they're being neglected or not. Children too, the elderly, they may be dealing with so many sicknesses and different. They are still a part of the vulnerable community, because oftentimes an elderly person cannot speak up for themselves. This is why they have fell in the category of the abused in the world. And then women, they are the one, women don't, all women are not disabled. There's nothing wrong with them at all. They just simply don't have a voice because people don't want them to, and that's a problem in this world, okay? So y'all remember me talking about voice and tone. Do I think it's important for a woman, for a queen? This is about queenship, but we're about to get to that in a minute. The history of queenship, the literal term and definition of a queen and a queen regnant is, okay? A woman, let's say she's not a queen, a woman in general, in my opinion, should learn things like the significance of voice and tone in their life, okay? Because I feel like because a lot of us don't really understand it, or didn't understand it until later in life, maybe we ran off a man or two. Ladies, I know y'all are out there giggling, but sometimes it's not what you say, it's how you said it, okay? When you're in that relationship or partnership with your significant other. Maybe it's not, it's not what was said, it was the voice who said it. Y'all see where I'm coming from? See, sometimes you go and you trust somebody with business about your relationship, but that voice went back and told another voice, and that voice spread it all. So by the time it comes back to your partner, it sounds... Y'all never heard of that experiment where they start a circle and they start a phrase, right? They say the fog is green. And it's 5 people in the circle. And by the time the 5th person announces what the original term or phrase was that was started in the group, it don't even sound like the fog is green. It says, something else like the log is on my team. See how it sounds similar, but it is not the original text that started being passed around that group. I forgot the name of that experiment, but we used to do it in school all the time. And it's so real. Am I one of the only real ones in the world who remembers that experiment? Why would teachers have us do this type of experiment in class? Because they know, as kids, we had it bad. Y'all spreading rumors, talking about other kids in school and all of this type of stuff. But they were trying to show us, oftentimes, the way a rumor starts it's not even half of how it ends, y'all. Because somebody is always going to add their little sprinkle juice or what they think or their opinion. The same applies to folklores. The same applies to like fairy tale stories, right? Everybody's version of the 3 little pigs is different, right? Somebody told me the story recently, and they said another animal. I said I could have sworn it was a big bad wolf that was after the pigs. And we argued about it. They said some other animal, but it wasn't a wolf. And I'm like, well, stories do change over generations. So I'm just trying to give y'all a new perception when it comes to life and the way that we judge others, the way that we see ourselves, the way that we even intake the information that we are feeding ourselves on a day-to-day basis does matter. You're like, once again, Arthur Tedasheri, what does this have to do with queenship? We're about to talk about it. Because somebody like a queen definitely knows when it comes to how she communicates, the difference between voice and tone. She definitely knows that, because she can't just carry herself. A real queen, and I'm not saying y'all are not real queens out there. Actually, while I'm on the topic, this is a lot of what inspired me to come on here and talk about this tonight. See, there's this trend. There are so many trends going on. Social media didn't do nothing but spark up trend after trend after trend. Y'all remember the crate challenge? The crate challenge. Okay, so you got all these trends flying around here. One of the trends is I'm a king. I'm a queen. Or hey queen. Hey king, good morning. You text a man that quick, ladies. And I'm not mocking you guys. I'm just saying, when is the last time you went and researched what, real is not the word I want to use, the history of what queen and kingship looked like or looks like today? See, we was quick to watch Prince Harry get married, and we're all up in his business and how he married a half black woman and all of this. That's not all we should have been assessing there. Do y'all know what it was like? She was a commoner. That doesn't mean her income was basic, or she loved who she was apparently before she married this prince. I'm talking about Meghan Markle, y'all. I don't know her personally, but I just want to use this as an example really quick. And now she has kids with this prince. This is a royal family. This is how this really works. Regardless of society's opinion about who this man fell in love with, or that she said yes when he proposed to her, they are now prince and princess with children, with royal children in the family, because this is how this works. Queenship. Let's talk about it. See, a queen and a queen regnant or regnant, regnant. Y'all can go research this off of the segment today, okay? And I encourage us to, because how are we walking around calling ourselves king and queens? I'm not even just talking about colored people at this time, black people at this time. Any woman would want to consider herself a queen. Any man would want to consider himself a king. I guess this is not that type of segment, but queen and king is deeper than a mentality. This was actually a way of life. And when we talk about the colored person, when we talk about black people, this was very much a part of y'all life. It's a part of your history. And if it wasn't like a kingdom, it might have been a tribe. And in tribes, there were chiefs. There were all these positions, guys, that y'all wouldn't believe. Go back and research if you thought you knew what a priest was. In many tribes, priests, the definition of priest had many different, there were different positions. Like what we know as a priest today. Priest, high priest, priestess. You didn't just earn those positions just because you wanted to be that, or because you applied for the position. See, oftentimes a king, a queen, a prince, a priest, a chief in a tribe, a leader is groomed to be that from child up. But y'all think I'm weird when I'm out here talking about the significance of actually being in your children's life. Children's having both parents. I know society is not perfect today, whether that household is broke up or not, because it's your bloodline. It's your bloodline that's carrying on the legacy. Regardless of how you feel towards the mother or the father, those children are they're more than what y'all think. And see, kings and queens know this. Okay? Chiefs and I'm sorry, when it comes to dynasties, they're called, I got everything here in my notes. Heirs and heiress, and it's a word, y'all. Empresses and emperors. You're not finna find them just walking out of their children's lives. You might see celebrities do it, but not royalty. A queen, let's just talk about a queen real quick, because you got a queen and a queen regnant. R-E-G-N-A-N-T, or regnant. I hope I'm pronouncing this right. Let's talk about a queen regnant. A queen regnant is a woman who is ruling in her own right, separate from a queen consort who is merely the wife of a king. has exactly the same power as a king. Now, this would be a queen who just, she ended up in rulership. She ended up in power because it definitely had to do with lineage. It definitely always has to tie into heritage some type of way. But let's say, somebody died in the family, somebody got sick, somebody died, or somebody got killed at war, and he only had one daughter, so she rises up in power. But see, she wasn't even married, before she sat on the throne. So do y'all think for a second a queen that's destined to be queen is not going to sit on her throne just because she's not yet married? Come on now. Hold on, I'm going somewhere with this. Because this is what history, this is what the research of real royalty looks like. A queen regnant is a female monarch equivalent, check that word out, equivalent, I'm going to say it 3 times for the people in the back, equivalent in rank and title to a king, who reigns in her own right over a realm known as a kingdom, as opposed to a queen consort, who would be the wife of a reigning king or queen, right? Regnant, who is the guardian of a child monarch, and is a king. Oh, okay. I'm going too far because I don't want to go there yet. But practically what I'm saying, okay, so the trend is everybody calling themselves king and queens. Has anybody went and researched what? That's like me calling myself a husky. I'm a big bad dog. But I have not went and researched anything about husky heritage, the history of huskies, what huskies are good at, what are their weaknesses. I've researched nothing about this husky, but I'm walking around calling myself this and saying I'm lower or higher than the husky in the food chain, and I've done no research. That's what that looks like. When you call yourself a king or a queen, you're walking around calling yourself a queen, and you feel like you have all you need up here to be able to decipher whether a man is king level. Whatever your perception of a king is. See, we gotta go research what a king is, what a queen is, how their life really works, what it really looks like on a day-to-day basis, how they are sometimes selected. And I used Meghan Markle for an example just a second ago, didn't I? Now, I don't know the very foundation story, but I was one of those in secret. I was reading the tabloids, I was reading articles, I was watching them on the news. I can admit that I am a big fan of Miss Meghan Markle, and I guess y'all see why now. I have always kind of in secret researched royalty, and yes, this is a fact. I'm a commoner. I'm what they call a commoner in kingdoms. I'm just, or it can get deeper when it comes to black people. Are we researching where we come from? Okay, so y'all gotta stop judging people who have probably already taken that step. They know not just what tribes they come from, not just what these tribes used to do, what made these tribes significant in their lands of territory at that time. They know where they come from. Not every black person is walking around here, just ignorant of their heritage. No, actually, I'm hoping we get to a level where I just said that not everybody is walking around like that, but I don't feel like any of us should. But this is a fact. Our culture is one of the very few cultures on the globe who have been withheld and intentionally withheld from the history of their bloodlines and lineage. Of course, I wouldn't have to come on here and do a segment like this today if it wasn't a fact. We would all just know who we were, right? So it's like I said, there were kingdoms, there were territories of land where tribes resided, okay? All y'all know today, as close as tribes as we're going to get, and it shouldn't be this way. And I'm not using this as a mocking opportunity. There are native reservations that exist to this day. You see, reservations where only these tribes live on this land. Y'all just think that's coincidental? No, I'm telling you, young people, these tribes are very old. They have history, and you, as black people, have history too. And 9 times out of 10, you came from a tribe or a kingdom. Okay. My thing is, I never, regardless of how historians have looked at this, there were some very powerful tribes who were very self-sufficient when it came to their land, when it comes to history. They fed themselves. They clothed themselves. They did their own hairs and makeup. Every tribe is different. Literally, how they carry themselves, what they are teaching the people of that tribe when it comes to character, morale, when it comes to spirituality. Every tribe is different, and therefore every kingdom. You had some kingdoms where if the king ordered for the whole land to serve one idol, to worship one idol that they considered God, guess what the land had to do? Because the king has ordered this to be. See, kingdoms and tribes have their differences, but they have their similarities too. And I'm so excited I can't get it all out in one segment, because it's like when people began to, I know you guys are doing research out there already. I just thought I would chime in to, how we're all waking up anyway, and say, look, kingship and queenship, number one, is very real. Kingship and queenship has history. That's number two, and that's real. Number three, if we're going to go around calling ourselves kings and queens, we must know. Because to me, it's like kind of disrespectful. It's kind of disrespectful to not know the history of kingship, queenship, emperors and empresses, tribe leaders and chiefs. And these are leaders in my eyes. These are leaders, whether they're here now and they reign in their land, or they reigned before in history, right? That's what you call a leader. By birthright. By sometimes chosen. We were about to go into that because what was I talking about? Miss Meghan Markle and Prince Harry, okay? We all know that Mr. Harry was by birthright, which can get deeper, but let's just talk terms of now and how things are right now. Is a prince. He was in college. His now wife was in college. They fell in love, and yes, she was a commoner. My point is, y'all, commoners still get chose by mayors. Commoners still get chose by senators. Commoners still get chose by anybody that could possibly be deemed a leader. Is it rare? Yes. Is it rare? Was she just openly accepted into the royal family? Probably not, and we've all seen the different rumors and things about that. But the fact is, she is this man's wife. Regardless of her bloodline, what's going on, I don't want to just deem her a commoner. Like, I'm just talking in royal terms because maybe she wasn't exactly a princess, okay? But she caught the eye, apparently. However they fell in love, she caught the eye of a whole prince, y'all. That's why some people are calling, some of us commoners in secret that watch their story, we're like, oh my God, fairy tale stories still happen. Imagine going to college and a secret prince watching you from afar, ladies. Imagine being at work and the mayor, somebody in the high politician seat, son works there, or he's a head supervisor over that company and you don't know it, but he's watching you from afar, ladies, because we're calling ourselves queens, we're calling ourselves kings, right? We're calling our daughters princesses and princes. I get where y'all coming from with that, but I'm just saying, let's keep going. Let's go ahead and research the history of what true royalty looked like, what kingdoms look like, and having a position in a kingdom looks like, right? You might not even be the king or the queen, but You have a position as a maid in that castle. Boom. That's the first example I'm going to give. You have a position as a door holder in that castle. Okay. You have a position as a soldier. You don't just work for the military anymore. You're a soldier who guards the room, the door, one of the rooms in the castle. You have just elevated in life because you just earned a position of a worker for a kingdom. Okay. You just earned a position of a worker for the White House. Okay, I'm just trying to put it in terms where y'all can understand. Anybody that works for, under, around the White House, to me, they have elevated in life, right? You have security, but when you're a security guard for the White House, that's a whole nother level. Security is security, regardless of how I go. If I hire a security guard today, I don't work in the White House, but he's going to be doing the same type of work that security at the White House is doing. Where I said it's elevated at is when you begin to work for something like the White House. Now, yeah, you're not just ordinary security anymore. See where I'm going with this? So when you work for an actual kingdom, you working in the castle, you working in the big house of these people, you have elevated in life too, right? See, some women out here, to me, they're still reserved, and I can understand it because, now that I see myself more too, yeah, like, oh my gosh, how do I say this? Like, guys, commoners are cool. I've dated many commoners. I've even been married to one, okay? Or what I would consider a common man when it comes to kingdoms, royalty, White House, senators, politicians, tribe leaders in other countries. Who I was married to was a commoner. I was a commoner to him, probably, okay? But it's like, now that I have researched more, OMG. Okay? Because, like, this could get deep. How kingdoms are even started, founded, how they came about. Not every kingdom was just like, okay, bloodline. Let me tell y'all how some kingdoms came about. As unfortunate as it is, this is true. Some kingdoms came about simply because, and I was about to talk about that, I have my notes here, some kingdoms real life were infiltrated. They were infiltrated, and the infiltrators actually were successors in that infiltration scheme, however they brought it about. My people, my black people, we should be all but familiar with what I'm saying right now. This is how some kingdoms literally came about. Somebody infiltrates your land, your kingdom, your family, and they take over, right? Now, if they become successful at that, they moved in, their plan went as planned. Now, guess who sits in those seats that the original kingdom holders had? Guess who sits there now? The people who just infiltrated. Whether we like it or not, this is history. This is how many kingdoms came about too. So now, these new people that took over, their bloodline is sitting in seat until further notice, okay? And really, I think in my notes here, that's really one of the main ways, outside of a king or a queen dying, that somebody new ends up in their seat. It's really crazy, and people in our history and past generations, they know this. They knew or they know this. Kings oftentimes become such through or by inheritance, election. Y'all hear that part? What do we do when a mayor, senator, new president, they're being elected? We're going to vote. They're fighting for this seat. So yes, election is one of the many few ways that many kings ended up in rule. I got the word intrigue here, probably because somebody was interested in, and since I'm on the point of intrigue real quick, this is a good time to bring this in, what I was finna say. When it comes to commoners being selected, or somebody being interested in somebody that's not even bloodline, they have no royal heritage in their bloodline whatsoever, or maybe they don't even know their full bloodline. Y'all think people like that still won't get chose? What's wrong with people? And I want us, ladies, like, this is about queenship and how many women in history were brought up, you know. But it's gonna take character. We're about to talk about some things, some characteristics people might look for when it comes to selecting a queen, right? And even your future kingdom spouse, that's what y'all call him, right? Kingdom spouse. If he's your kingdom spouse or your future husband, there are some characteristics as a woman, hopefully, that you're going to be looking for, that you obviously expect, that you obviously would look for him to not withhold from you, but, you know, to contain before he's even considered worthy in sitting in that seat next to you as a queen, since y'all calling yourself queens. Okay? So settling is not the word. That's not what people are doing. To me, they just don't know, number one, their full potential. They don't fully know themselves. They don't even fully know the history of their bloodline. So to me, they can make who you're choosing as your partner cloudy. They can make it cloudy. Y'all see where I'm coming from? Yeah, so falling in love is beautiful. We see Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. He loved her apparently how she came, half black and all, commoner and all. But you know what? She happened to be studying in college. I bet you that. Educated woman. She might know 2 or 3 languages. We don't know. Y'all can go look that up. Share some things in the comments. I'm just trying to make a point here with my queenship segment, okay? Queenship awareness, the history of queenship, what this really looked like. So when I said the word intrigue, I went over inheritance, election, intrigue. That means somebody somewhere. Do y'all know sometimes you can be referred to a king? Or men, that woman, okay, what was I trying to say? Or women, you can be referred to a king, and it can go vice versa. Like a man is referred to a queen, like, hey queen, you know, you are powerful. I know this dynasty is yours. You know, you really don't need anybody. You're a whole queen. You're filthy rich. Anything you order to be is going to go that way. But you know what? There's a guy out there that stays in the land of Nair. Let's just say the land is Nair. Nair, ladies, y'all know we use Nair on the land of Nair, queen. And you know, we're hearing great things about him, and the queen might say, well, what are you hearing about him? What is this guy's name? So they tell her the name. Let's say it's Joseph White, Joseph Smith. They tell her the name, and she's like, well, she may do anything. Could go from that point. She may want to hear about him, she may not. But I'm telling y'all, lots of kings have ended up in kingship seats, just like what I'm explaining right now. That queen came into her seat. What did I just talk about? A queen regnant is a female monarch equivalent in rank and title to a king. We finna talk about that in a minute too, because y'all out here calling yourself king and queens, and you don't know in real royalty, when it comes to rank with a king and a queen, they are like this. Sorry, that's how royalty works. The king is not up here in the queens right here. That's not how that works in royalty. It never worked that way. Sorry. Y'all know that's why a lot of mischievous things probably went on behind closed doors when it came to kingdoms and king and queenship. Don't think a lot of kings were not constantly, people were trying to poison them, or people trying to take their queen out. Why you think they have to have so much security? Because people are always trying to do something to infiltrate that kingdom. Royalty is not a game. While we out here just calling ourselves kings and queens because of how it looks and because of how it feels, this is deeper than mentality stuff. In real kingdoms, they have all these bodyguards for a reason. Even in presidency, you know, they don't just walk around like commoners anymore because of their seat of leadership. Somebody has to always watch them, oversee them, because somebody's always trying to take that seat. If you don't look at your life like this today, I hope you do after this segment, okay? Because we got too many kids out here being abandoned. Like, if you don't know your royal heritage yet, it's time to find out. I know that's going to be a big factor for a lot of you guys out there. And a lot of y'all gonna have so many stories because you don't even know who you are yet. You don't know what's all in your blood yet. You don't know who your ancestors were yet. But my point is, without me saying too much, some of us have went and sought. So we move the way we do a certain reason for a certain reason. Number one, we can't help it. It's in our blood. And my point is, if y'all think a queen stopped ruling, or she's going to stop her kingdom, she's going to stop her job, her position, because she has not found a king yet, or a king has not found her and said, let's merge these kingdoms, which that's deeper, because that's not even how that works. It's so much more involved with that in real royalty. See, in real royalty, certain bloodlines simply don't mix with certain bloodlines. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense to y'all. Like, it's like foreign for certain people to marry certain people just because, even if they're royal too, they might say, no, that family over there has been an enemy to this family over here, sweetheart, but the princess that's next in reign for queen is like, Dad, but I love him, why can't I? No, honey, the way this works, we do not mix. We don't mix our royal blood with them over there. See, as human, just regular commoners, we don't even look at our life like this. We just feel like, well, if I'm in love and, well, this who I'm going to mix with. Now you got a whole baby with somebody that probably in your bloodline history you weren't even supposed to mix with. Hey, y'all heritage and tribes actually used to be enemies, but you wouldn't know that without research. Okay. Let me stay on topic here. Intrigue. That's all I was trying to say. Some people were real life considered into succession and into royalty seats and position just through intrigue. 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 Somebody was intrigued. Somebody was intrigued with that woman. Whether she was royalty. Somebody was intrigued with that man, and she knew she was a queen, and she knew can't just anybody sit in this seat. Do y'all see how much deeper this is? And some of you ladies, I'm just saying, hold out. You're on the right path. Don't let nobody tell you wrong because you still sing. Who said you gotta be married with? If you know who you are, no, not just any man needs to be sitting in that king's seat next to you, ladies. Not just any woman is cut out for that queenship seat, men. You can try to make a wife of her. A wife is a wife. What is a queen? A queen has to be a wife. She has to be a ruler. She probably don't cook because, see, she has people that do that. She don't have to drive. She got drivers. She don't have to count her money. There's accountants on the team for that. She don't have to tend to the garden and all of this. There's people on staff for that. If y'all think a queen sits and do all of that, y'all, queens don't do that. They rule. They make decisions. They make choices. They execute plans. That's their job. And to be beautiful on that throne, that's their job. And she can't be a weak link because let's say the king is out of town on duty. Guess who orders are? I'm not saying his orders don't matter. But if an emergency happens and they got to get an emergency plan of what to do, what did I just say? Go research this, y'all. In real royalty, kings and queens are right here like this together. She's not more powerful than him. He's not more powerful than her. Nope. Let's say the king don't know about it because you probably had some sneaky queens, y'all, that just, I ain't gonna call them sneaky, but they knew darn well they didn't go through the husband for what they just told their soldier and army to go do. But she tells them, she called the soldiers in there for a second and she say, hey, I got a job for you. And you like, well, wait a minute, I didn't hear the king say nothing about this. They don't ask that question to the queen. They know how this works. If the queen gives you an order, you better go execute that. You might find yourself fired tomorrow, and it can get real sticky because, let's say the king wants them back. That's between the king and the queen now because queen who has the same power as the king done already fired her. and she don't want them in the council no more. But my point is, if she executes an order, like if she real life puts an order out there for that to be carried out and planned through, it, to me, yeah, I would go through my king before I do anything like that. Just because I'm in power, or I know I have the same powers he does, I would try to use my power wisely. This is what, when it comes to intrigue, this is what royalty and dynasties and emperors are going to look for before they even consider you fit for that position. To them, it's not just wife or husband. You are a ruler with me. So that means you got some things in your character. And we're going to talk about what type of traits that a royal, I got it written down here. Let's say a queen. A queen is going to have to possess. Do you think y'all think being a queen is just about being pretty? You can rule. You know, you can do household duties if something go, but you know, that's not even really your, you're the one ordering tea. You're the one they bring. And what I'm saying with society, it's like, because people don't understand that kingdoms are run this way, they want to consider themselves royalty. They calling themselves kings and queens. That's what I'm saying. In the new millennium, I'm a king. Hey, queen. Oh, she's a queen. That's a king. Okay. A queen orders tea parties. She don't have to go boil anything. She don't have to cook any. If you think a king is in, well, can she cook? Can she sweep a mop a floor? That's more servant work. He's going to ask those questions when he's interviewing servants to work in the council. When it comes to who he needs as a queen, because he's already a king and he knows what he rules. He knows his territory. He knows who's on his team. He knows what he has worked hard to build. So he's not just finna pick anybody for their queenship seat. Y'all heard me out real quick. I'm almost through. I don't know why my video's so long. Hold on. These are just some traits I want to share on my channel today that a queen shall possess. These are things that this is who she naturally is. What did I say? Because we talked about ways that people end up in these seats. Sometimes inheritance, sometimes election. We were on intrigue, right? You're not going to intrigue a king in real royalty, ladies, if you don't possess these things. I know they're telling you it's about cooking and cleaning and taking care of baby. Women are natural caretakers. That's why sometimes I laugh when, you know, I'm not being funny, y'all, but when a man try to tell me this is all being a wife is, you know, and a wife needs to be able to do this. So I'm like, I'm on a level that I don't even know. I don't even know why. So yeah, I feel like an alien in this generation, because I'm like, boy, I actually study royalty in secret. My whole name, y'all, Tedasheri, she was an Egyptian queen. Maybe that did motivate me at some point, not just to research her life as a queen, which we're about to talk about in a minute too, to research royalty in general. She just reigned in Egypt somewhere. There were kingdoms and dynasties in many countries. Okay. A queen is going to possess vision. So is a king. Vision. Whatever y'all want to consider vision, because I'll be talking all day if I try to sit here and describe what each one of these traits would look like. Now y'all see I wear glasses, and I'm not talking about that type of vision. So a king is not worried about whether you need glasses or not. When we talk about vision, ladies, somebody who can see past the now. Somebody who can see past, you know what I'm saying? They have vision. They can see past circumstances. Problems don't stop them. They don't scare them. They don't intimidate them. A queen, they know that their job is to be able to oversee problems. It's to be able to execute plans past problems and stuff like that. Y'all know, vision. Come up with new strategies and plans, you know, to make something work. Vision. That's what a king or a queen is going to possess as a trait. Leading by example. So not just somebody sitting up, I'm a king, I'm a queen. No. By example, what are you doing? What are the not the peasants, the commoners, the people that you reign over? How do they see you leading? There are basic qualities that come with being a woman, keeping your hygiene straight, eating right, staying fit. But these are the deeper qualities and traits I'm trying to tell y'all that a real queen is going to possess. If a king is intrigued, these are the type of things that are moving him, that I'm sorry, a commoner might just overlook. That man is looking whether you can slave around the house. He's looking for that. Some women are looking for what matches their capabilities. What matches their energy. Their energy. Y'all, I've been learning some things, y'all. Don't worry. It's hard work. The last one I just talked about is leading by example. If you put the two together, leading by example is hard work. I can be one of the first to tell y'all, I'm the oldest of 8 children out here. Somebody doesn't have to see that as queenship mentality or queenship. Baby, that does something to you. I've been a leader since knee high, right? And by example. So even if I was doing something that I know I shouldn't be showing, I probably had to try to hide it or, watch how I do it, watch who I'm doing it around, because I got so many others that look up to me by nature. That's not every woman's story. It is what it is. I do these segments about knowing yourself, the power of growth. It's definitely going to come with some research, because you might say, well, how is researching royalty going to help me in life? Researching who you are as a whole is what I'm talking about, because if you do end up coming across okay, my grandma was great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-great-grandma was Queen Zen of Malway, and I didn't even know it. Okay, now you know that's in your blood, but if something is in your blood, there's a lot that should come with you naturally. Boom. I ain't gonna say nothing too much deeper. Hard work. A queen does not just sit on a throne with nails and the man is doing everything. What is wrong with y'all? That's not, so have your preference. But don't ever in life call yourself judging another person's preference, because she may know her bloodline, she may know her research, she might have been finding out why she was with the wrong type. What y'all mean? And really had a real life awakening, like, man, no, you talking about knowing your worth? A queen knows her worth. Knows that her value is not less than or higher than her king's, right? She knows this. Trait I want to talk about real quick. A queen does not fear curiosity. There's some nosy traits a queen is going to have, because if something is off, you better believe she needs to be able to see it. If her king don't, her king can see it. He needs to have that sense too. You're a whole ruler. You're a whole leader. Are y'all just in relationship? That's what's wrong with this generation. Everybody out for self. Everybody out for what they think. What leaders though, it is not all about them. And the leaders that we have today, it is sad, y'all. It is. We all seeing it. If a real leader cares about more than themselves. I'm not gonna say too much, cause who are you leading? Who are you leading if all you care about is yourself? Why are you in a leadership position? Boom. That's all. That said. That spoke for itself right there. I wouldn't care if you're the lead of a daycare facility today, a soccer team, a nursing home, a hospital, a restaurant. You are leading somebody. And if you don't show this trait, hard work, leading by example, commitment, people are not going to take you serious as a leader. They have to see those traits, because I'm telling y'all, these are the traits that a real king or queen is going to look like if they even consider a little bit. Even if it's a commoner, a normal person out here on the streets that they might want to bring up and see. This person is going to have to possess this is what they're looking for. Intrigue is not just how you look, what your skills are. It is your skills, but these are the skills I'm talking about. Because you're ruling a whole land, a whole kingdom. How you gonna do that and you selfish? Unfortunately, we have had some selfish leaders over the course of history, and I always find it unfortunate. And those unselfish leaders, their stories show, those selfish leaders, their stories show for themselves. Something tragic always happens, Talked about curiosity. To me, there's a difference between nosy and curious. Your curious senses has to be like radar light. In the society I'm in today, they want to tell you what you can and can't be curious about. Like, that's crazy. I was taught in school to dream big, right? To ask questions if I don't understand a matter. I am 30 years old today and ain't none of that changed about me. If I don't understand something, I need to ask questions about it. Now, if it rubs you wrong that I'm curious about a certain thing because I'm a woman or because I'm the age I am, that's something that you need to look in the mirror about. Anybody curious, now they got a saying, curiosity kills a cat. But see, in royalty, guys, curiosity is going to be a trait that you need to possess if somebody's going to consider you fit for a position as such, a ruler, okay? Respect of others' opinions. Yeah, because see, they might have town hall meetings and, meetings with the commoners. What do y'all think needs to be fixed and done? What can we do as kings and queens to make this a more, comfortable place for everybody to live? Hopefully kings and queens are still asking these questions. No, as y'all probably know or you don't know, rulers oftentimes have to visit and travel places. They have to go places to, meet with other rulers, and they have certain type of meetings. If you cannot respect, why would I want a king on my side who every time we go to meet with other world leaders cannot respect other people's opinions? Why would I, you know how that makes my dynasty, my kingdom look? Okay, why would a king want that type of queen on his team? She can't sit back and just hear and respect the opinions of others. That's a whole trait you need to have as leaders. Because you're a leader, you're running something that's hopefully making customers, clients, commoners, residents happy. Because how are you going to stay in business long? How are you going to rule successfully if you cannot respect the opinions of others at some point in your life? So it does show for itself who are natural bred, born, cut out, destined leaders and who are not. Who have just fitted themselves in these places. It's crazy. To me, I still look at this type of raw, rare characteristics. If people either possess them or they don't. But yeah, boy, people want that power. I'm telling y'all, royalty is about more than power. These are the type of characteristics that need to be presented. Embracing change where needed. See, kingdoms, dynasties, tribes, they have had to make changes in their efforts, in their traditions, in their cultures. And a good leader is willing to make changes where needed because they know that if they don't make these changes, something could happen. Tragic. Boom. That's all I'm going to say on that one. And the last one, engagement. Well, I got two left on my list. Engagement, right? Can you engage in a conversation? But you calling yourself king and queen. Can you engage with people comfortably, right? Like without anxiety? Can you? Because rulership, leadership is going to come with some speaking to large crowds, speaking to people, answering questions, okay? And then if you can't engage with people like on a healthy level, I don't think you should be in rulership. Because if I was a queen, you wouldn't be in my king seat. You cannot engage with people. I wouldn't want to be a part of that. I'd be better off as a queen regnate, like we just talked about, who runs her own thing until she finds a proper king who can sit in that place with her, okay? So yes, guys, there is a blessing. Don't let nobody tell y'all different. There's a blessing in singleness because sometimes everything you're getting done for your own kingdom, for your own space, for your own household is better than letting a second ruler come in there and help you destroy it all. Sorry, even kings and queens know this. Politeness. That's the last one on my list. Polite. How polite are you? But you're a leader. How polite can you be? People need to see a gentle, empathetic, because you're calling yourself a leader. You're calling yourself, a ruler. And yes, like I keep repeating, we have a lot of, this is the new millennium. We unfortunately have a lot of leaders and rulers who are not polite. Okay? But y'all just with whatever goes, We might not say nothing, but some of us, we can see. It's like, how are you cut out to be how did you even end up elected, or somebody was intrigued in your capabilities to rule, and you don't have these type of characteristics in you at all. Some of the most powerful queens in history: Cleopatra, Nefertiti, Theodora, Hatshepsut, Meredith, Empress Wu Zetian, Olga of Kiev, I think that's somewhere in Russia. Empress Theodora ruled from 527, the year of 527 through 548. When I tell you I went through like some history researching, right? This will just be part one. I'm already into an hour trying to explain what I'm trying to explain, and that's okay. Russian queens or Olgas. See, there were queens in Russia. That's all I'm trying to say. Egypt was not the only place that had queens. African regions. They definitely ruled in Asia. They ruled in any continent, island y'all can think of. There's always a leader. Every dynasty, rule, their power hierarchies might be different, but there's always a leader somewhere, okay? And commoners do get chosen for leadership positions. And all those characteristics I was naming y'all are just things that other rulers might look for if they do come into power unmarried or without somebody on their side. They look at this stuff before they even consider allowing you in their kingdom, okay? Successful treason, we talked about that. Being overtaken in your seat can be another way. That's another reason in real royalty, kings and queens do have to be careful with who they are allowing, who they're even getting married to. Y'all seen the movie of Shrek on part 1? Princess Fiona had this little short midget guy who only wanted to marry her so he could be in a seat of power. And I mean, there was a cartoon, but this was a great example and a way to show this is still real. Now, love might be scarce. Me personally, if I was asked, love does need to be a factor, but there's going to be other characteristics and traits that a person needs to possess. Before I even consider a little bit, you just helping me reign a whole thing. Like, you just helping me run a whole business or a whole kingdom or a whole household. You see? Right of conquest. So sometimes by combination of two or any of the above mentioned. So sometimes it's through inheritance and intrigue. Somebody was already a princess over there. She has a royalty background. So you say, oh man, she already know the game. This is perfect. Y'all notice how celebrities marry celebrity? They go marry a commoner. They got to explain how everything works. Why they got to have security. Why they got to move different. They don't want to have to go through that. They get with people who already understand what their life might be like. And the only difference is now, we king and queen, we together. You bringing your label over here. I'm a football player, but we both getting money. You see, to some people, they're just looking for somebody that's already on it. I ain't going to say looking for it, but if it comes about or if they're going to consider it, somebody that's on a level. They don't have to sit there and explain why they move a certain way, why they look at things, why they got to run their life the way they run their life. Come on now. Don't look at everybody as single as something wrong with them. Some of us are up here. You know not to just let anybody into your inheritance anymore. What is marriage? That becomes an inheritance game. Now when you get married and you try to get a divorce in most states, you might be looking at, if y'all share children and assets, you might be looking at that spouse taking half of what you got. This stuff is not a game. But everybody can say who needs what, who needs to marry who and when. No. No, that's not how this works. You are better off in a single period until you learn, if not 100% who you are, as close to it as you can get. Because when you meet a person and you introducing yourself, you telling your name and what you do for, that's not getting to know you. Like, who are you? Where do you come from? Who were your people? What was their culturalistic beliefs? And right, this is the new me. Right, after all of my research and what I've been learning in life, I want to know who you are. King is second highest title, only behind emperor title or position. I just thought that was interesting in my research. Like, there are, just like we call the food chain or commands of chain in business, when it comes to power seats and reigning, an emperor is going to be higher up than a king. I just thought that was interesting. So a king could be filthy rich, wealthy, have all this going for itself. But when it comes to titles, though, the emperor is going to be a higher seat than a king. It's just something interesting to know if y'all didn't know. So I just want to name some countries before I get off of here. That queens have either reigned before alone or reigned in general before, right? In this world, in our times and living, and further before. These are all countries, y'all, queens have reigned, and sometimes by themselves, until they were able to assess, like I'm telling y'all, whether a man was cut out, whether he was already in royalty or he was a commoner because she fell in love. And she felt like, well, yeah, we can go ahead and bring him in, coach him, show him how this goes. I don't know if you guys have seen Princess Diaries, very old movie, where the girl finds out later on she's a princess. She has to be coached from A to Z because she's been a commoner all her life. She goes to a random public school. She lives with her mom. Her mom's telling her dad died all of a sudden. Now her grandma from another country is about to come over and they want her to take her dad's seat. Stories like this are still very real and can happen to any one of us anytime, okay? Ethiopia. Okay, there was a queen who reigned from 1916 to 1930. Go do your research, guys. Kenya, 1963 to 1964. That's just a year, whatever was going on there, but a queen reigned. Madagascar, 1520 to 1530. Tanzania, South Sudan, Uganda, Zambia, Mexico. A queen reigned and ruled late 15th century, early 16th century. East Asia, 1690 to 1705, Empress Regent she was. So, like I say, some of these queens, real life ruled by themselves. This is not a game. You don't just go get with anybody when you know who you are. Because everybody just not going to understand. And even when you preach it to them, break it down, show them, they go to a million classes to understand who you are and why you have to move like you move. It's not promised that they are going to hold that to the highest respect or, be cut out to be in that position to be with you. It is what it is. Japan, Korea, Pakistan, Judah, ruled 1843 to 1853 BC. A woman, Athalian, I think that's how you pronounce her name. Turkey, Constance princess, I'm sorry, y'all, ruled from 1130 to 1163, and I could go on and on. I said I was going to talk about Queen Tetisheri. Her name is pronounced Tetisheri, but my name is pretty much inspired by her name, Tetisheri. Okay, thank you, Mom. I'm trying to live up to it a little bit. And yes, I find queenship, it's beautiful to research. And now I happen to be living in an age where I bet my mom never seen this day coming. Everybody walking around calling themselves king and queen, and they want to be reverenced as such. And to me, this is a mental thing. Like, they want to feel like a queen. They want to, carry themselves like a queen. I'm saying do the research. And what it really takes, a queen does not touch a broom. She might, because that might just be in her, She ain't got to cook no dinners. There's people on staff for that. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Some of us know who we are. There's staff that handles everything. And her position is her position. You see? Call it spoiled. Call it what you want. Queens are very spoiled. But see, there's a scripture in the Bible, y'all. I feel like this is perfect for this real quick. It say, to whom much is given, much is required. To me, that ties into rulers, leaders, and queens and kings, because yes, they have all that they possess, but do y'all know what is all required with such positions? But everybody want to be powerful. Everybody want to be a leader. Everybody want to be a boss. Do y'all know what come with that? It's going to take losses sometimes. It's going to take sleepless nights until you come up with a new plan for this, that, a new law. They do a lot. Yeah, so I was going to share some things, because even Queen Tedashiri was not royal blood. She was married into... Ooh, what I tell y'all my name was? She was married into royalty. And sometimes this happens with kings and queens. Now, I would be blown away if somehow this story repeats itself in my life. Oh, yeah. She was a commoner. I'm a commoner. I told y'all that, right? But it's different when you start to carry yourself like, not like I'm saying I'm trying to carry myself like the real once existing Queen Tedashiri, but it's like you begin to research your heritage, your bloodline, and the tribes that you come from, and how they operated, how they ran. It was almost like kingdomship. There are positions and levels of positions of people in that tribe, and you were selected for them either through bloodline or through something you intrigued somebody through. Hope y'all paying attention. So, yeah, she had a strong influence. When you go and research her story, she was an Egyptian queen. She ruled over a dynasty known as one of Egypt's most important queens to this day, okay? Because of the strong influence she had over her son. So apparently her son did some, what we would consider military work. He called shots. This son she had by the king, okay? And that's deep to me, because you got a lot of parents out here still got a lot of influence over their children. It made me wonder, if I were to ever break free 100% from the influence of my parents, who would I be? That don't mean you don't respect them. That don't mean you don't love them, but you are walking in your own freedom. And people try to tell you, in the cultures and society we live in today, they don't know how to deal with it, right? Like, I'm not saying my parents, I'm saying people in general. Seem like the parents today of the 80s and 90s babies, they cannot really fathom us choosing our own paths in life, us looking at life how we want to look at it, making our own decisions, making our own trial and error efforts in life, right? Learning on our own. I don't know what it is, but it just says it right here. Y'all can go research it on Google. This is known about Queen Tedashiri and her son. What was her son's name? She had 2 sons, actually, y'all. I think she had 3 sons, but this son I'm talking about, and she was the spouse of King Sennacherib. Y'all know them Egyptian names are hard to pronounce. Amos. Her mother was Neferu. Father Tehina. That is cute, actually. So 2 of her sons led battles, and her second son gained position as pharaoh through one of his defeats. So I'm not going to say whether it was healthy or unhealthy for her to had influence over her son. Obviously, she played major part in the strings being pulled behind the scenes to her son's victory. So isn't that something? Women are more than what y'all think. We're not saying that her son couldn't think for himself, but who knows? Maybe she was giving advice and tips on the side, strategies when it came to how they were going to defeat others in battles when it came to fighting for their land. What did I tell y'all? Many territories were overtaken if they were, if somebody succeedingly overtook their territory. Kings and queens cannot play. They cannot play about who they're with. They cannot play about their children. It's not an option. But the ones of us that's walking around here like this right now, I see why it's foreign to y'all. You don't know kingdomship. You don't know royalty when you see it. But oh, well, you're a queen. I don't need a man to tell me that. You're a king. I don't mind calling a man a king, if it's going to make him smile or blush. But I cannot call you a king without having this discussion with you about how kingship really looks. I can't do that, and we don't go that far in detail, so I feel like I'm deceiving you somehow if we don't go that far in detail about what a king and a queen is. Thank you guys for tuning in to another segment, video topic discussion with the Crown Content Publications YouTube channel. We're publishing and marketing me. We give publication services and publication services coaching for those that are looking to publish books or feel like they have a story. I'm encouraging you right now, y'all see the times we living in. You've been sitting on that book too long. Go ahead and join the Crown Content Publications family. Visit my website, www.contentcrownpublications.com. We can help you from the distribution and printing side to the formatting and editing to the ghostwriting. Whatever it is you're looking for, whatever service it is that you need deep down inside to get that book published and on somebody's bookshelf in 2022 or moving forward. We also have our promotion and marketing segments for freelancers, authors, and entrepreneurs, small business owners that are looking for promotion and marketing of their work or services on our podcast show, Crown Content Publications. I told y'all at the beginning we're on pretty much all major platforms, Apple Radio, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Go look us up. I'll also be sharing the link in the comments in the description section when it comes to how you can access my podcast platform and tune in with us regularly, weekly, where we interview entrepreneurs, because you never know which one of my entrepreneurs offers services as well that may help you in business or as an individual overall, okay? Tune into my podcast show tomorrow, y'all. Today is Sunday, May 14th. But see, if y'all tune in with me tomorrow, Mountain Time, 4 p.m., we're going to have another entrepreneur guest on our show. And I don't want y'all to miss it. Even if you miss it, I'm going to come right back here and encourage you to tune in with previously recorded podcast segments, as I do usually. And, our goal is to keep the Power of Business networking alive, y'all. Without business, in the early settlements of America, business was here. Business was all around the globe. I just said America because I do study my history. They had the Boston Tea Party. They were selling wines and beers, whatever they had to do to get this country now. Tobacco fields, cotton, okay? Business has always been a strong factor to America. So even during these times of the pandemic, we're here. Crown Publishing Content is just doing our part to keep the Power of Business networking alive. So we thank you guys that have been supporting our podcast show, supporting our entrepreneurs who do take the time out to allow us to interview them by host Arthur Tedashiri, myself. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, guys. We got more segments like these coming up, just talking about trending topics, what's happening in the world today, and our opinions about them. Thank you for your support.